Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, friends and colleagues from across the world. Thank you for joining us today in our Q&A session, as well as an informative session about the programs that we are launching at the Universal School of Health, specifically the Doctor of Business Administration. Thank you, Dr. Emily Letron, our Dean, as well as Dr. Julio Reina Fargi, for our Associate Dean, for joining us today to discuss all of these points. First and foremost, the Global Summits Institute was brought to life based on the idea to maximize collaboration between doctors. So we can create a closed loop system where doctors can prosper and eliminate third-party influence over the decisions, not just administratively, not just academically, but also financially. So the idea of the Universal School of Health came about by creating programs that enable and empower doctors to perform better as business leaders, because half of the equation is not just the manual dexterity and your knowledge in medicine, healthcare, but also your ability to execute in a business, make your patients comfortable, or explore other things that you want to do in your life in terms of creating a sound business. So we brought together an amazing faculty from all across the world that have succeeded in their endeavors and that like to pass it on to others. One of the pillars of our program is that you can come either without a business plan or you can come with a novel business plan, and we will enable you from A to Z to live that out and also have something in your hand as part of your thesis that you can take to a financial institution and begin your endeavors after you complete your program. So not only a doctorate, a second doctorate that you will have, and all doctors of pharmacy, optometry, chiropractic, medical, and PhDs are invited to join us in our endeavors. So Dr. Letran, would you kindly give us a little overview about the program, and let's start there.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Shah, and thank you everyone for joining us today, this morning, this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I will jump right in. You know, the problem is doctors from all over the world are not trained to do business. And it's not that we don't have the means, we don't have the time, is that the education system has failed us, right? It doesn't allocate time to help us learn the business, from basic business systems to growing, to competition, collaboration in our everyday life, to building our business, to creating impact in the community. And a lot of us who have private practices or clinics, you know, we got some very, very similar problems or challenges. There's tight cash flow sometimes. There's a lack of new patients. There might be crazy team members, right? The team members who are coming in and maybe they're not well trained and they're not kept accountable. Some of us come out with a lot of debt. We're dealing with school debt, or maybe we're taking out a loan to buy our practice, buy our building, buy our equipment, and we're dealing with that situation, debt problem. Or some of us are doing pretty well. Now we want to invest. We want to grow our business. We want to make our money work for us while we're sleeping. All of that is the journey that we go through as a practitioner in the healthcare business. And in answer to that problem, that situation, we came up with a solution. And the solution, like Dr. Shah said, it would be a program where we help doctors learn the business acumen where they can be best in their clinical expertise, and they know business well enough where they can grow the business, they can eliminate stress, they can be there for their family, they can create impact for the community. And the program we came up with are made up of 3 distinct tracks, and we believe that these are unique tracks because they're very practical. In this program, we don't plan to teach you theories or share some case studies. We are going to share with you try and proven strategies to grow your business, not just from the healthcare providers, the doctors who are teaching the program, who are the faculty. These are also business gurus and leaders that we have connections with, and we have invited them to come on and teach us. So the 3 tracks, the first one is finance. it talks about your personal finance, maybe debt management, maybe how you set up your entity, whether you want to be a corporation, an LLC, or maybe you're a sole provider, proprietor, which way is best for tax advantage. And we can talk about if you have a passion, you design something, you want to grow, you want to invent something, you want to have a pattern for something that you have a passion for. How do you go about doing that? Because some of us, that's going to be our legacy, not just today in our business, but also, a book or a piece of equipment. And Dr. Shah has other inventions that he's currently working on right now. These are going to be part of our legacy. The second part, and I believe is the main part of the program, is business administration. We talk about marketing. We talk about growing ourselves as leaders, how to dominate your market, how to stand out as the go-to person, how to grow your team, how to increase the lifetime value of your patients. When your patient come in, how do you make sure that they're going to come back and support you? How do you want to create raving fans so they will go out and talk about you in the community? A lot of these things we pick up pieces from maybe coaches, mentors, consultants over the years. How do I know that? Because I definitely have done that. But now we are structuring it into a program where you're going to learn all of those, and we're going to help you step by step, day by day, week by week, to get to where you want to go. And the third part of the program, which is very unique, is on research. We encourage you to do research. We encourage you to come up with a thesis, look up the data, analyze the data, and defend your thesis. And this will position you in a totally different light than everybody else out there. It can open doors if you want to work with big companies, you want to be consultants, maybe you want to teach at universities as part of your exit strategy. We believe that our program really will help you through that whole journey and help you grow as a practitioner, whether you're just starting out, you maybe you're even an associate and you're planning to buy your first practice, all the way to exiting as a lecturer, as an admin, or maybe having other endeavors that you follow with. And the program is designed to be 5 weeks courses at a time. Every week you spend 6 hours where you have class discussions and you have lectures and you have homework and you have tests. It's an education program, and it goes on for 2 years. And I would like to invite Dr. Shah to share his screen and share one of the courses that he's going to be teaching. So you can kind of get an idea of what a course would be like with all of us. Dr. Shah, would you like to share your screen?
Sure. Let me go and we'll look at a course description. As you know, we have various courses that are starting from personal finance all the way to more advanced courses, but my particular class will be about supply chain and leverage purchasing power. So it's a 5-week course. We meet once a week. I did my MBA while I was also practicing full time. So we are kind of designed this in a way where doctors can continue to practice to service their debt while they earn the second doctorate in a very organized fashion. You go to mastermind groups and they're short experiences. This is an experience where we're going to create a bond between the classes and the ideas that doctors have to better impact the industry. But ultimately, in my course, and every instructor has it structured according to their needs, we'll have a very short quiz format type midterm exam. The final project will be the main project. It's going to weigh the most weight. It's a sort of a pass or no pass. You'd have to score about 80+%. And this is the different topics. We're going to look at the supply chain management in the healthcare business and how it's been impacted by the fact that globalization allows us to communicate much more and exchange ideas and business concepts and supplies and how to mitigate those to our advantage in terms of concept of leverage purchasing power and strategic negotiations with these third parties and how we can come ahead. I built a practice from next to nothing in terms of investment to a 10x business within 3 years by doing those kind of things that help our colleagues to be better at what they do in the financial equation. How to become key opinion leaders is important. We have to look at how these third parties look at us, and how we look at them, and how we can help them in an ethical fashion supported by science, and how you get into those kind of positions as well. People love residual income. It's very important as we age and have to think about our own futures. So we will talk about a little bit of that and how to create residual income verticals. And then the final project, which is going to take a little bit of work with some citations. We're going to look at one of the main multinational healthcare supply chain members and try to understand how they deployed their executives to achieve profitability and sustainability. It's going to be a fun class, and after 5 weeks, we will be completed. I certainly invite everyone to go and take a look on the website. There's also the syllabi that are listed for each instructor and the topics that they're going to be talking about. And this particular one is the corresponding syllabus of what is sort of the reading material, the learning material, how we're going to evaluate the participants, and continue to go. So in my perspective, a student that finishes this course is going to be well positioned to negotiate within the supply chain for the benefit of his or her business, and also to be able to plug themselves in that chain in the most desirable fashion. Ultimately, it needs to be doctors that control and operate the supply chain in the healthcare industry. And we need to gain that back. And there's strategic ways of doing that on a small scale and also on a large scale. With that said, Emily, I defer back to you. Thank you for that question.
Well, thank you, Dr. Shah. I would like to ask our Associate Dean, Dr. Julio Reyna Farhe, and because a lot of times people ask, well, why should I join this program, right? Why don't I go and do an MBA? Why don't I go do a DBA somewhere else? Why do I want to go and do the DBA with emphasis in healthcare with Universal School of Health? And Dr. Reyna Farhe, who is also a dean in a dental school back in his hometown in Brazil. Dr. Reyna Farhe, would you like to share what we have in plan for our incoming students?
Thank you very much, Emily. The idea of this DBA that we are launching this year is this is the only 2-year online education in finance, business, and administrations and research with emphasis in healthcare. It's totally different program than anyone that we could have and we can reach in all over the world, because it's going to mix things with healthcare and mixing finance, the business and the business administration is going to be it's going to be very good for our offices. So it's not only we're going to have hundreds of hours taught by faculties and business gurus from all over the world. It's going to make us it's going to make a difference, because you're going to have to be really committed to what we're going to do with this DBA. And also you're going to get access to our worldwide network of doctors, and it's all over the world. It's in all continents, and you can have collaboration, you can have share opportunities, and many things that we're going to share in these programs.
Dr. Julio, I know that you are also working with universities, well, both you and I, to co-brand this program with many other universities. Because again, like Dr. Shah said at the beginning, this is a global program, right? It's not for people in the US, it's not just in South America. This is globally for all the doctors across all continents to be able to join us, to be able to learn this education, and which is why we set it up online, because there's no borders. The doctors can join at any time. They could join in their PJs, right? Some doctors, it might be the morning, some doctors could be the evening. We want to make it so easily accessible and so collaborative, so everybody can learn and have access to the same information. So can you share with us a little bit about what you plan to do with the other schools who are coming in and joining us?
Yes, yes. The idea that we have is show all the people from all around the world how to come to our school. They can come to our school for, you can do it in our offices and you can do it online also. And we're gonna be co-branded programs with people from Brazil. We're gonna have people from Mexico and many other countries around the world, because academic is international. To be academic, you're going to be all over the world. And we're going to have these co-branded courses, and you will have these kind of solutions, and the solutions and the way you're gonna solve your programs are the same problems that we're gonna have everywhere in the world. So the idea of these co-branded courses are going to be to help doctors from all over the world. That's the idea of what we want to do with our programs. I can hear you.
I think that's awesome because you know, we are taking advantage of technology to learn from across continents, and we're carrying that spirit of collaboration, right? And we sharing expertise, we're sharing knowledge, and the doctors can learn from all these experts in different parts of the world. We got faculty in Canada, we got faculty in India, we got faculty in Albania. Everybody's coming in together to give back and to share their expertise. You know, I have doctors who ask me, you know, this is such a big comprehensive program. How much would it be, right? This is everybody's, all the doctors who are coming in and the ones who are teaching, we all run our own businesses. We all very busy. And we designed this program in such a way that it is convenient, that it is easily accessible. And we actually have a very, very attractive investment to join this program. So I want to ask Dr. Shah to share with our audience here, what is the investment for this program?
Well, the investment is a 2-year scenario, and we priced it very good, comparable to other doctorate programs, but quite lower than MBA programs. So you're looking at about a $30,000 per annum investment of a 2-year program. And there's also scholarships that we have that maybe you can perhaps get into and describe how one can earn it. But normally, to be able to go through this scenario where we provide this tremendous amount of knowledge from 3 different tracks and actually have masterminds group type systems where we work through all of the issues that a particular business plan may need, and getting access to all of our colleagues that participate, to other people that have succeeded. You know, the biggest mistakes that I have made when I first started in my career, if I knew what I know now, you obviously probably familiar with that saying, but we're going to try to save doctors a lot of monies and time and headache. And also the amount of monies I have spent to find the right routes to take for a particular adventure have been tremendous. And those can all be eliminated for our colleagues by turning to those that have the expertise and knowledge. There's a tremendous value that we're bringing to the table for our colleagues. This is to be a closed loop system. The ideas that we encourage them to bring to life are those that benefit patients and doctors as a sole parts of to the equation. So a big package that we are going to pass on for a very little investment. And the idea is to have you benefit tremendously from this investment for the rest of your career.
Thank you, Dr. Shah, for that insight, because I know you got an MBA, and I was lucky. I did my master at the same time as my dental degree, but the investment in time is there, right? And if we do it separately, obviously there's a separate investment in cost. And you know, for myself, similar to you, I have invested a lot of money and many years learning how to do this right. And so when somebody is thinking, okay, should I invest in this? You know, how much the money that it costs, I want you to ask yourself a couple of questions. If you take this program if you were to get 5 more new patients from the strategies that we teach you that you can implement in marketing, how much are 5 new patients worth to you? Is it 2,000? And I know we have doctors from across different countries, but I'll just use US dollars as an example. You know, a new patient coming into you, is it worth $2,000? Is it worth 5,000? Or is it worth $10,000? Right? If you could set up your business correctly, so you can take advantage of, you know, taxes. If you can protect your asset, so if somebody happened to sue you, you're well protected. Maybe an employee embezzlement, that kind of problem, and you're protected because you set things up correctly and you protect yourself. How much is that worth to you? If you could be the CEO, the lean and mean CEO, and you got your staff actually following you, and they are as productive as they could be, and you could keep them accountable. And so you don't have to worry about your staff doing this and that. You have that peace of mind, you have less stress. How much would that worth to you? And if you could invest your money and let's say you can buy your building, and you could create your portfolio, better portfolio. Maybe you take the money and you invest in real estate and you create more passive income, right? If you can learn all of that in this program, so there's multiple in your ROIs when you invest in this program. How much would that worth to you? And, you know, if you could just have this whole process done in 2 years, condensed, convenient at a time where you can easily attend. And you not only just learning from faculty all over the world, you also learn from business experts, business gurus, world leaders. How much is that worth to you? So I think if you can ask yourself those questions and you know that the answer is it's worth a lot to me, it's worth a lot to me, it's worth a lot to me, then I think you can easily see that the investment makes sense for you to be able to achieve all that. Dr. Julio, we have ways to help the doctors take care of the investment. Can you share a little bit about that?
Well, about the investment that we're going to make is that we have all the investment that you're going to do in education. It has to be something you're going to see it in your office because you have many ideas. You have to, if you have a new idea, you will know how to put it in your office, put it in your community, and make it a successful idea. So that we need is to have all the tools required to make these ideas come through. What we're gonna do with this investment is this investment could be one, and you're gonna get about 100 for your idea once you do it. So what we're gonna give you is the way that you're gonna make your ideas come through. That's an idea. You have to think as an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is gonna make these ideas that they have. You need the tools to get it realistic. So what we are gonna do is give you the right ideas to make it through. That's what I think about investment in your education, in business, administration, marketing, and all that stuff that we are going to give in this 2-year program.
Yes, and the reason I was asking you about that investment, doctor, is because you know and you communicate with a lot of the schools that are not in the States, right? Yes. And so sometimes the students may be concerned that, you know, they come into the States and maybe, you know, they need some help, you know, to make that investment for the program. So what I meant to ask was, we had mentioned earlier about the payment plans, and can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yes, about the payment plans that we're gonna have. We can offer to get they can apply for our program. As soon as they apply to our programs, we will see the possibilities, how it's going to be managed, and they can get a scholarship. And this scholarship is going to help them a lot. So the idea of these programs is to make this program available for all over the world. All over the world, we have the same problems. You have the same problems in the States, you have the same problems in Europe, you have the same problems in Asia, Latin America, whatever. So what we need to do is how to apply what we want to teach to your office. And investment is something that you're going to be rewarded a lot sooner or later. So the idea is to ask for our finance. If you can do it right now, you can ask for a scholarship, and this scholarship is going to give you the possibility to get to this program. So that's the idea.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. Dr. Shah, I know that we are limiting our first class to 30 doctors. This is going to be the inaugural class. We're starting that in June. And can you just go over a little bit the process of how someone can join this program? Because I believe there's an application process.
Yes, so we look forward to receiving a letter of intent. And if they have a novel business plan and they're eligible for a scholarship, we'll award it. But we also have financing options for those that want to come with a clear mind. Let me tell you, the value proposition is tremendous, because there's no such thing as a program anywhere in the world that is off by and for doctors. As usually administrative people and other provosts and rectors and who knows that even if sincere, they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to healthcare. So this program is different because of the fact that you are catering to someone that you have a bond with, and you understand, and in a very unique profession where we're constantly battling between profits and patient care. When I did my MBA, it was almost double the cost of what the investment is, A. And B, they had me learn about finance and how to deal with the accountants and balance sheets and cash flow. We don't cash flow statements and all of those kind of things. But we are not going to waste the doctor's time. We have accountants for that. We have lawyers for that. We need to focus on getting out of student debt, setting up for a future, getting into investing, setting up a practice. And it doesn't have to be a practice. It doesn't have to be about you acquiring a few new patients. It could be you setting up a real estate empire, whatever it may be, that's going to create residual income for you or create another business for you. That's what we want to empower you with. So that's not easy to do, because when you go to consultants, they all have their own opinions. And you end up continuously investing in a dark hole that will not give you the ROI that you need. But with us, you can fine tune your dream, and we can help you get it to the marketplace and prevent you from making those mistakes. As much more of a vision that we have than the next university trying to recruit students, our vision is to create a closed loop system for doctors, by doctors, and for the sole benefit of patients and doctors. Therefore, I highly encourage you to look into it and choose the program that will cater to your needs, not the cookie cutter MBA with the balance sheets. Thank you.
Well, that's, you know, I think unless somebody have gone through an MBA program similar to you, they may not even know that, right? A lot of time we may sign up for a program because we think it's gonna help us, and for in the case of some of us, that we have worked with consultants and mentors and coaches, where they may just come in and you have one question, you have one challenge, and they're just gonna help you with that one thing. This, we helping the doctor go through the whole journey. And I think it's an excellent program in the sense that it doesn't matter where you are. in your journey, right? You could be right in the middle, mid journey, and you're growing, and you already have certain things set up. You always want to grow. So this program is all about growth, and we have the means to help subsidize the program. We reward with scholarships, and we set it up in such a way that it's convenient for you to take the program, and it doesn't interfere with you working every day on patients, because you can attend the live class, or maybe you want to watch the lecture later. So my personal opinion is, I want this to be my legacy to change healthcare education, because we always start with education. We got people with better information. They're going to be able to make better decisions, and they're going to carry out better action, and that would create impact for the community. And I just want Dr. Julio to give me his summary about the program, and then we'll go back to Dr. Shah. And I think we have covered pretty much all the points of the program. So Dr. Julio.
Yes, the idea of this program is that we doctors, we need to learn. When you go to dental school, medical school, whatever, you will finish as a doctor. But sometimes what you need to do is to run an office. And you're going to do it everywhere in the world. You need to know we're gonna have a strong program in research also. So you will see it's not too far from what we learn at the school. It's gonna give you more tools to make this program. It's gonna be very, very good for you and the way you're gonna run your office, giving the patients a better treatment, a better way to do things, a better approach. So the idea of this program is going to be very, very good for you in India, for you in Paris, for you in wherever you are. So the idea of the program, as Emily says, what we need to do also is to encourage you to be an entrepreneur, to do things, to create things, and to make it in the right way. That's the idea of the program, and that is how we're gonna help you to be better in this new healthcare community that we're in.
Yes, and before I give the mic back to Dr. Shah, I would like to say thank you everyone for coming on and attending this. We wanted to give the overview, the information about our program. You can find more information by going to universalschoolofhealth.com. Our faculty are on there, the syllabi are on there. You can see the breakdown of the schedule, and then you can just one click, put in your application, put in your information, and one click, you can apply for financing if that's what you need. And I want to reintroduce Dr. Shah, who is the founder of Global Summits Institute. He has a vision to create this program, this educational program, and he's definitely a serial entrepreneur and a world-class leader. So Dr. Shah, give us your closing comments.
Thank you, Dr. Latron. As you know, our vision is to empower doctors and create a system that benefits us as healthcare professionals. The Global Summits Institute has a vision that we have to start somewhere, but the end vision is that we can create this closed loop system that empowers our colleagues in all of those aspects. So I highly encourage you to join the inaugural class of this program, and let us help you and help us in expanding our influence around the globe. When we started the Top Doc movement, it was in January 1, 2020, and today, 2.5 years later, we have presence in over 120 countries, and we have a network that stretches the globe of not just dentists now. Medical doctors, chiropractors are joining our groups, pharmacists, optometrists. So we invite you to come, be part of this exciting scenario, and let us help you help us. And I encourage you to go online, send us a query, and we will attend to it right away. And hopefully we can bring your unique innovations and ideas to life with our program. Thank you for joining this session. I yield back to Dr. Latron.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Shah. We really, really would love to have you join our program for you. It's not for us. It's like I mentioned earlier, what difference it would make if you get more new patients? What difference would it make if you know how to leverage your assets and grow your business and improve your life? What difference would it make if you can be a better provider for your family and you would have less stress because now you have better business systems, you have staff who will be accountable, you have staff who will help you, and you can just be a better person, which is why we say this is a best you, best business, right? You bring your best you to bring your best business. And again, we thank you so much for joining us. Please go to Universal School of Health to fill out an application and submit your CV. And you can also just with a simple click, apply for financing. And we look forward to seeing all of you in June. Thank you.